Hey, everybody. Welcome to Midday Market Update. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond, preferably with VV Nation. And let me know where you're tuning in from. We are simulcasting on Facebook as well. Dee's here, Carlos, and two others are watching here on Facebook. So I always like input from both of you guys, whether it's on YouTube or on Facebook. Happy Monday. You know, the 5 days after a weekend are always the toughest. Always the toughest. So there we go. Jeff on Facebook says VV Nation. Thank you for that, Jeff. Let's go see. Interesting tunes. That was Joey. Joey changed it. You guys were saying that we needed a new tune, so Joey got on it. And there's another one in the background that we can probably use at some point in time as well. Roger's tuning in from Arizona. Raphael is tuning in from Calgary. David is coming in from California. Jay is on Facebook as well as YouTube. So glad that you guys are all out there and tuning in. Again, happy Monday. We made it through another weekend, didn't we? A lot of news went over this weekend as well, between the end of last week and this weekend. So we'll talk about that as well. We got a lot to cover today, and we're going to get rock and rolling. If you're brand new to the channel, I invite you right now to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you'll be alerted to when new live streams like this come out. Hit the like button if you like the content that we're giving to you today. I'd love for you to hit the like button. I always try to get at least 100 likes before we leave, before the day and end of the session. So if you like it, I'm not twisting any arms, but if you do like it, by all means, please hit the like button. Good morning, Isan. Fayez is checking in from Montreal. Michael says, good afternoon. You must be in a different part of the world because it ain't it is afternoon. Joey, why didn't you remind me it's afternoon? By the way, Joey's in the background. He's my producer. Joey, it is the afternoon, isn't it? Silent. I think he's sleeping a little bit. Darren is here from Florida. Thank you for being here, Darren. Roxana is here from Surrey, British Columbia. All right, so Khaldoon is here on that's all on YouTube. On Facebook, we've got Otis watching, Ronald watching, RN's watching, VV Nation from PEI Canada. Ooh wee, way to go, Robert. All right, with all of that, let's talk about what's going on in the market. Biggest thing I know, Cynthia, I'm looking at NEO. NEO is a stock that I am looking at today. That's one of the things. You know, Midday Market is all about what's going on in the market today. NEO's in the news, Twitter's in the news, Luck and Coffee's in the news, Shopify's in the news, blockchain is in the news, Tesla's in the news, cybersecurity stocks are in the news. There's a lot of things going on that we're going to look at. Jim is here from Boone. Gary is here from New Jersey. So we're going to be looking at a lot of different things. Let's talk about what's big on everybody's mind as well. On our YouTube channel, I put out a poll. If you haven't seen it yet, go take a look. The poll states, with the Fed coming late to the game of bringing down inflation, do you think that a recession is on the horizon? Type a 1 in the room if you think a recession is on the horizon. Type a 2 in the room if you don't think so. That's one way. But I do want you, even after you've done that, to go to our YouTube poll. Go to our YouTube poll, and I want you to vote there as well. And then also, if you follow me on social media, I also have it up on my Twitter account. A lot of ones coming across the room, a lot of ones. I got some twos, but it looks like the ones. Joey, as a matter of fact, put a poll up in here as well. With the Fed coming late to attack inflation, are we set up for a recession? I want to hear. Fear is number one. Fear is one. I hear you too, unless people keep calling for it. Now, Rodney, I'm not calling for it. It's not that I'm calling for it. I'm just looking at what I think is going on. And if the Fed is going to effectively go after inflation, they're going to have to be a little bit more hawkish in what they are doing. They are. All right. Paul says we've been in one. I don't think we can call what we're going through a recession. I don't think, not yet. The market's got to be down by X amount. Paul, maybe the market's going down, but I don't call it a recession. Not yet. All right. Rodney says, not me, the talking heads. Well, the talking heads, I don't always listen to them, but sometimes there is some meat behind the potatoes. I like that. Lou says we are on stagflation, where the market is like, yo, what to do? Should I go up? Should I go down? And it's going to be tough. And you know something? Let's get into the first news story that I have. All right, let's go out to the web. Let's get out to the first news story I have. Now, this is from the Wall Street Journal. You know me. I like to get articles from all over. Our VectorVest V7 technical problems, not that I know of. I think we're all good. I haven't seen any technical issues on my VectorVest 7 as of yet. Now, I'm looking on Facebook. Jeff says 2. Orange says 2. So I'm looking at all across the board. It still looks like more people feel that it's going to be a recession. Wall Street Journal, and this came out yesterday. Recession risk is rising, economists say. Forecasters raised the probability of an economic contraction in the next 12 months to 28%. Joey, I can see you. Oh, that's me. Dang, why am I'm a little slow this morning. I didn't have a lot of coffee today. Jimmy says, sorry, folks, but this market is overvalued and property bubble will burst this Fed-induced bubble. So you know something? You know why? And Jimmy, I'm going to address that. You know why the market is overvalued? Because where is anybody going to put money except for in the stock market right now? Interest rates are still historically low, so nobody's putting money in the banks. Money goes where money grows, and right now, the only place right now to keep your money growing is in the stock market. And with so much money going into the stock market, the prices of stocks have risen dramatically. The majority of the stocks you will see in the VectorVest system, as I can show, are overvalued. So, Jimmy, I agree with you, but I'm not going to put it all on the Fed. I will say that the Fed did let the booming economy run too far before they stepped in, because inflation was going to happen. When you have a booming economy and money is just going into the economy, what do you think is going to happen? Prices are going to rise. Inflation is going to come in. And then the Fed knows that, but what they did say is that, well, it wasn't raising, it wasn't moving as much as we wanted to. We're going to give inflation a little bit more room. Inflation is transitory, blah, 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 blah. They were late to the party. The economy was rocking and rolling. Prices were rising because there's so much money in the economy. They came late to the party. Inflation was going to happen. So what do you do when inflation happens? You start raising interest rates to pull some of that money back out of the market that you infused the market with. All right, so I agree with you, but I'm not going to call it's a Fed-induced bubble. I will say that they were late to the party. All right, that's the way that's just how I'm putting it. All right, so that's one story. Then I went out to Market Beat. Global stocks sink on worries over inflation and supply chains. Supply chains are affecting a lot of companies, especially in the car place. Do you know that Tesla and a lot of the EV companies are having to raise their prices on the cars to keep up with inflation? All that inflation is passing over to us, driving those prices higher. So it's not only the supply chains, but you put those two together with the rising inflation and supply chains, prices will continue to rise on a lot of stuff. Of course it is stimulus, man. And you know, Jimmy, I know it. And what was the stimulus for? The stimulus was to keep us from going into a recession during COVID. That was the purpose of it. And a lot of people got a lot of money to help keep them afloat. So a lot of businesses got a lot of money to keep them afloat. So with putting all of that to keep the market going, at some point in time, folks, you got to take that money out of the market. And we needed to start raising inflation, started raising interest rates a little quicker than we did. But the Fed kept saying that it was transitory. And I go back to the Princess Bride. I do not think that word means what you think it does. All right? So, and it's inconceivable. It's inconceivable. All right, so that's a little bit about what's going on in the market. I'm going to get back into the VectorVest software real quick. I'll get into the VectorVest software real quick. VV program. Why am I still looking at? Oh, I know why. Because I put the program up. Now I have the program up. All right, let's go talk about what's going on in the market. Here's our indices today. There's the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000 is down today. Look at the VIX. The VIX is on the rise. That's the fear factor in the market. All right, that's the fear factor in the market. Up 11.25% today. The UVIXY is up 4 points. That's the ETF to play it. But the Russell is down a little bit. Not a lot on a day like today. Let's go back. Joey, put me back on that first screen where I can look at the indices. Let's look at that real quick. Yeah, here we go. Here's our traffic light into the market. A lot of red coming in. And look at all of our indices. All of our indices are in the red today. Let me see. The biggest mover happens to be the NASDAQ, down 1 3/4%. The S&P 500 down over 1%. Our VectorVest composite down 0.6%. And the Dow is only down 0.5%. So across the board, all of the major indices are down today. Let's go to the graphs tab because I hadn't put this up yet. All right, let's go clear that. And I'm going to put on the VVC, the DJI, the SPY, and the Qs. Let's go see what they all look like intraday today. Let's go put on the quad thingy. And let's go look at all 4 of them. Let's move some of this over. This is what's going on real time today. So here's the VectorVest composite. Looks like it gapped down today. Today was pre-market. A gap down, big gap down. We started to fade the gap on the VectorVest composite, but then the market's continuing to go in the same direction of the gap down. We're approaching the session lows today. The Dow did the same thing, but not really. It faded the gap just a little bit, got to a level of resistance at 34,697, pulled back, leveling out right now. The spiders did the same thing. Looks like all of them gapped down today. There's the S&P did gap down, and the Qs. All of the markets gap down today. All of the markets gap down today, but they don't look like they're really trying to all fade the gap of what's going on. What are my thoughts on hog? Kevin, if I have an opportunity at the end of this presentation to look at individual stocks, I will. All right. If I can, I will. All right. So all of the indicators or all of the market indices fell today. Nothing is really going back to recover to fill any of the gaps today. That's where we stand. That's where we stand. All right. Let's go back to my viewers, and we're going to go. Those were all of the main indices. Let's go see what big news is out there. Oh, yeah, Twitter, big one. How many of you saw this happening? How many of you saw this coming, that Elon Musk was going to turn around and say, yeah, I'm not going to take the board? Type of 1 if you think that Elon Musk buying up the major share of Twitter was a publicity stunt. All right, that type of 1. If you think that it was a good move on his part to do this, to really bring some change to Twitter, type of 2. All right, so type of 1 if you think it was a publicity stunt that he did this, or type of 2 if you thought that this was a good move on his part. Did I say that? Can I say that, Joey? On his part, to do something good with Twitter. All right. And I see a lot. I see a mixture. I see a mixture of both 1 and 2s. Facebook, talk to me. What do you think? Type of 1 if you think it was publicity. Type of 2 if you felt. I got somebody who subscribed to the channel. I can't see the name. Dang it. But thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. All right. On the YouTube channel, on the Facebook, on the YouTube channel, I see a lot of 2s in there. I think that Elon Musk is a smart dude. Raphael says 1, somebody made money. I agree with you on that. Somebody made some money. Are we up for a recession? Yes. 68% of you said yes. 31% of you said no. That was out of 97 votes. Thank you guys for voting. But again, on our YouTube channel, we have that. And on my Twitter, If you don't follow me on Twitter, go search for @GlennTompkins Jr. on Twitter, and on my Twitter, I have it as well. Jeff on Facebook says one as well. I suspect he's planning to buy it outright as a director. He's limited to 14.5%. Is that what it is? So you're thinking that if he's on the board of directors, it does limit how much he can buy? Talk to me then. What does Elon Musk and Tesla have to gain if they buy Twitter? I'm curious. Type in, let me know what he stands to gain as an electric car company if he buys Twitter. Is it just a business move, or does it help Tesla? Now, if it's a business move, you know something? He can make money on Twitter, he can make money on Tesla, and just become stupid rich. Not like he's not already there. Musk wants to get into mining lithium. Oh, Drew, I got something for that too. I got something into that today as well. Elon is the deep state. Wow, that sounds conspiracy theory. I'm not going off on that tangent. Woo. Carol says Musk for president. Not feeling that either. I'm so not feeling that either. Joey, I think Joey for president. What do you think, Joey? Can I be your vice president if you run for president?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I run.
Are you going to run?
No.
Why? You don't think you could be a good president?
No.
All right. I got to agree with that too. Elon Musk would gain an amazing power to the market, to market his brand in a way that hasn't been seen. That's a good answer, Tyler. I didn't think about it from that perspective. That is a really good answer. All right, before we move on to the Glenn for president, oh, heck no. I got way too many skeletons in my closet for me to run for president. That is so not happening. Woo-wee. Now, Lee says, how about a takeover? Well, you know something? If he's got the money to buy it outright, and I like Tyler's answer, I don't know. Does he need to have a hostile takeover? I'm sure he'll offer a really good price for Twitter if it came up to that. He turns the crypto upside down with one tweet. He can, Kevin. That's absolutely for sure. He will have unabated power to say whatever he wants without being censored. Well, you know, that's interesting because a lot of people thought that when he came on to Twitter, he was going to be able to unban Trump. And then he came out and said, nope, the board has no power over doing that. Did you see that? How many of you saw that? Said that when he said he was going to be part of the board, he says, yeah, the board, we ain't going to do that because the board doesn't have the power to do that. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was, Jack is still running it, Miss McClintock. Jack, that's still his company. That's still his company. Jack is still running it. What could be worse than skeleton? Maria, I'm not going down there. He'll have the attention of the masses on this platform. You don't think he's got the attention of the masses right now? You don't think he has the attention of the masses right now? All right, before I get to the next story, I know all of you, many of you, have a following on social media. Do me a favor right now. I want you to share the link from where this live link right now on your social media. Let's get more people in the room. You know I love to talk to people. And if you like what you see, who's to say that people on your social circles wouldn't like seeing this as well? Share the link on your social media. Let's get some people into the room. All right, so let's go to the next story. Luckin Coffee, look at that, back in the news after it emerges from bankruptcy proceedings. They got caught doing some bad stuff with the funny money, and now they're coming out of bankruptcy, and we'll see what goes on. This was supposed to be the Chinese Starbucks, wasn't it? So I'm bringing it out because they got out of bankruptcy. Let's go see if they can stay on the up and up right now, and we'll go from there. And Lou says, Trump owns social media. I understand that. He does. And I just did a story last week. It was either last week talking about why it was going down, and a lot of executives were leaving that platform. All right, so... and he's got a lot of followers. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you know me, I don't pull for either side, whether the left or the right. I'm all about trying to make you guys some money. That's all I want to do. All I want to do is help you guys make some money. So we're going to take a look at Luckin. NEO. Wow, NEO shares fall on price hike. Remember, because of inflation, a lot of companies, car companies, are doing it because they sell cars and they got to be able to sell cars and keep up with inflation. Prices are going to continue to rise as long as inflation runs. How do we get that to go down? You know me, my answer to that is we need to go hard. We need to go all in. And if we do go all in, a recession will happen. Now, someone says that, well, we're not going to have a recession unless we call for it. I'm not calling for it. I'm just saying that inflation is a problem, and the Fed, I don't think that they have the wherewithal to really get it under control in a good time. And the last thing we really want to have, going back to that whole stagflation, is rising interest rates and rising inflation. We're going to be screwed for a minute. We're going to have that stagflation. Don't want that. Don't want that to happen. NEO getting hit by COVID lockdown, says Maria. So is Tesla. So if you're looking at that, especially coming out of China, Shanghai, the Shanghai plant for Tesla has been under lockdown. And I think that anybody who's in China right now is getting that hurt from the COVID lockdowns as well. There's not much we can do about it. And it is what it is. I think China is going after COVID super aggressively. And that's another story for another time. But that's going to be very interesting. I do like a lot of the EVs. I looked at it. Lucid is under some investigation right now. I like the company. I thought that was going to really give Tesla a run for the money, but they're under some legal stuff right now. I put that on my Twitter as well. So we'll see. The 1970s are here, baby, says Jimmy. We'll see. I don't want to liken what we're going through to any specific time, but it's hard not to. It's hard not to, Jimmy. All right. Stick around and we'll be here next month, says Kevin. We'll see. We'll see. Shopify plans a 10-for-1 split. Eyes founder share to protect CEOs' voting power. And this is just one of other companies that are out there doing the splits. Shopify joins Tesla, Amazon, Alphabet. Looks like a lot of these really expensive companies are trying to get new eyeballs or get new investors because what's going on with the rising prices? They're like, yo, we need to get as many people as we can into buying into these stocks that may be out of the range of the average investor. So we're going to do the splits in order to get some more people in here. Alex on Facebook says, Glenn, you're probably going to be right about your recession call just a few months ago. I'm not looking at a recession. This is just my thinking. I'm not looking at a recession probably until the end of the year. Probably until the end of the year. And I think that next year is going to be a poopy year. All right. That's my opinion. I hate trying to prognosticate what's going to happen, but I think that this is when it's going to happen. Motor Trend Car of the Years. Lucid makes a great car. I don't disagree with you. I think Lucid does, and it's a beautiful car, but they are under some legal scrutiny right now. How far will NVIDIA go? Again, at the end, if I've got space, time to look at individual stocks, I will. Alex says we need one to tame inflation. Maybe so that's the way you go after inflation, is to get the recession. Ooh, nobody wants to go through a recession. Nobody wants to be that guy. The president doesn't want to be that guy. The Fed chief doesn't want to be that guy that puts the country into recession. But you may not be wrong in that you want to get inflation under control. Maybe the recession is the way to do it. And Alex says, a small one, I'm saying. I don't know how you gauge between a big inflation and a small inflation recession. They're both recessions, and that's not what I want. Do you think Intrepid Potash still has potential? I think that those companies like Mosaic, those fertilizer companies still have potential right now. Cruise stocks will double before year end. I don't know yet. Every time, because of COVID, every time that space gets ready to rock and roll, something pulls it back. I'm thinking the airline stocks, the travel stocks should, but something keeps pulling them back. They have not been able to take off yet. All right. Am I ready for those stocks to take off? Absolutely. And when we get close to it, I'm going to do a story on YouTube about it. I'm not ready for it yet. It's not ready yet. I like casinos and casinos. They've been decimated along with Baba and PayPal. Yeah, casinos, all part of that travel, getting out to the casinos, getting out to Vegas, getting out to all of the places where gambling is. It's tough still right now. So now let's talk about Tesla. Let's talk about blockchain first. Bitcoin set to become a bigger factor. Why is Bitcoin looking to be a bigger factor? Here we go. Tesla enters the Bitcoin mining venture. They've got a lot of power that they go through. Where is it here? Jack Dorsey led, this is another company, Square, now Block, now Square, Square, now Block, seek to demonstrate that Bitcoin can be mined with renewable energy. Remember, Tesla's on the renewable energy side, electric, right? By way of lithium. They announced they would set up a solar-powered Bitcoin mining factory in the U.S. The rest of the street is cautiously optimistic about the stock with a moderate buy consensus rating that's based on 15 buys, blah, 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 blah. The average Tesla price is 1,000, implies blah, 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 blah. Energy, clean energy as a way to go after mining Bitcoin. It takes a lot of energy to mine Bitcoin. And I think that any company that links up or corroborates with another company in a clean space for energy could be huge. Could be huge. Miners are opening up shop in prior or cheap energy. What is the point of fighting inflation if it's going to get us into a recession? Fed should find another way. Now, Raphael, I'm not a financial guy. I don't know another way. How else do you get to go after inflation? Again, I'm just a guy. And I'm curious to know, what else do we do to get the money out of the economy instead of making it hard to get? Rising interest rates makes money harder to get. All right, transfer of wealth is coming, but the fiat is not going down without a fight. Oh man, we'll see. The spiders will hit 320 in the next 12 months. We'll see. See, there's a lot of speculation going on in this room, and I'm adding to it as well. There's a lot of speculation. The only way we're going to know what's what is when it happens. All right, and all I can do is at least set the table for you for knowing what's going on in the market and where the buying opportunities are. So we'll talk about that. Last story today, cybersecurity stocks to buy and watch as acquisitions pick up. See, this story just came out today. Joey, go find the video that was done on March 4th. Go find the video where I talked specifically about this space. All right. Prior to this war getting up underway, or while the war was getting up underway, I did a video specifically on cyber war stocks and what stocks to look at. It's interesting that Investor Business Daily is putting out a story now, but Joey is going to put a link in the chat. Go check it out. I did a nice detailed view of what cybersecurity stocks were out there and which ones were the best to take a look at. And hopefully, Joey, hopefully you're hearing me. I hope that he puts that link in the chat. There it is. He's awesome. I didn't hear him respond to me, so I didn't know. Folks, look at the link in the chat on YouTube. Joey's going to try to put a link in the Facebook. And Alex is right. When you look at trying to go after the whole inflation thing, Alex says there is no other way. I don't know. Reduce waste and lower oil prices. Well, he did, and I'm going to address that. In one way, he's trying to, the president is trying to reduce oil prices by going into our reserves. Do you know how much oil we have in reserves? I want to know. Somebody type a number, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, type a number of how much oil you think we have in reserves. How much oil do you think we have in reserves? And the number was huge to me. I didn't realize we had that much money and that much oil in reserve. Someone type in the room, how much oil do you think we have in reserves? And the amount of oil that he's releasing right now will barely bite into what the reserves are. 500 million? No. No. And I know Maria is here. I know Ms. McClintock is here, and I know they're both looking to see what the number is. 714 million barrels. I think it was a B number, a billion. I think it was billions. I think it was billions, folks. The number I saw was sort of like 46 billion. All right. So somebody back me up on that. I thought it was, there you go, says Tyler. I'm thinking the number, I saw a number that was 46 billion barrels. 46. Robert says 5. Tango says 35. I'm telling you, there it is. Michael says 35 billion, 230 million barrels. Billion. So with the release of oil from the reserves that he's releasing, we're still okay. And I think a lot of people are jumping up and going, oh my gosh, we're still okay. We're still okay. Why are gas prices high, says Maria? There's a difference between the two. And I think because oil, the oil people are trying to keep up with what's fluctuating, that's why the gas prices ain't going down. That's why the gas prices ain't going down. Jimmy says, don't believe what they're telling you. Listen, from what I understand, this is founded information. All right, this is founded information. Lou says there's 43 billion. Now, the people who are typing in, I trust because I've been with them. They've been with me for a minute. I trust that they're doing their homework. These are the people that normally don't just throw out garbage. So I'm with that. CPI numbers will get cooked and revised up a month. We'll keep our eyes on it. Tango says the same thing. 43 is the 2018 level. I want to see. Tango said the same thing, that it was the 2018 level. All right, but it looks like the numbers that are coming across are coming close to the number that I thought. All right, so I wanted to address that in regards to lowering oil prices. That's one way to try to do it, and I think that it takes time. It doesn't take time, Maria, for gas prices to go up when oil goes up, but it does take a hell of a long time for gas prices to go down when oil goes down. So, all right, so those are my hot news topics for the day. Let's get back into the software. Let's go check them out. Let's go into the big news. Here's all of the companies that we just talked about as they come up. Let's go put on 10. Here they are. There's 8 companies that I got in here out of those stories. The true CPI number is around 15 to 18. Understand that the consumer price index, the CPI number doesn't include food and fuel. There's a number. There's another one. There's CRB, I think, and I don't remember what that means. There's CPI and then there's CRB. The other one, remember, I told you I'm not the financial guy. I hate numbers. But the number that gets reported as far as inflation doesn't include food and fuel, and those are the 2 biggest factors in my mind when it comes down to inflation. All right, those are the biggest numbers in my mind. All right, here's Tesla, Google, Square and Tesla linking up, I think, or Block linking up. Amazon, Google, those for the splits. Twitter because of Elon Musk. Shopify along with a split. Luckin Coffee coming out of bankruptcy. And of course, Neo with the news that they're raising prices. And thank you, Joey, that they're raising prices and they have supply chain issues. All right, so let's go take a look at the ones that are moving up the most today. Let's go look at the percentage price change. There's only 3 moving up. Luckin, interesting that Luckin is up. Let's take a look at the 3 that are moving up. After all of these made news, right? Twitter is moving up, but the other ones are not moving up. Let's concentrate on the one that are moving up. Let's view the stock graph. Let me move this over. Let's put on my quad thingy. One of them is going to be blank because I've only got 3 stocks that I'm looking at. So you know what I'll type in here? The VVC. Let's go compare all of these to the VectorVest composite. Luckin Coffee. Did they gap? No, they actually gapped up, faded the gap, and went back into resumption of the direction of the gap, but pulling back after the high that was hit this morning at 1010. Running down. Now, currently, they might have found a level of support sitting at the value of about 913. I would be careful with this after just coming out of litigation and coming out of bankruptcy. I don't know if there's a big called for it, right? Twitter looks like it gapped down this morning, but quickly reversed and went back up. Not coming back to the gap down, found a level of support, now sticking at a level of resistance of 46.83. Let's go see if it's going to be able to take out the session high that's at 47.89. Here's our VectorVest composite. We gapped down, we faded, and now with the most recent low that we just hit, we're moving in the same direction of the gap, and that normally makes sense. Shopify, all right, Shopify talking about the possibility of a split, a little bit of a roller coaster ride today, but leveling out as we go into the current market's condition right now. So if I'm looking at the big news stocks, I do like the move of Luckin Coffee. A lot of people were like, yay. And then they said, oh, and now they're bouncing and go, ooh. Twitter, you know, I still think that Elon Musk is a very smart man, smart businessman. I feel the same way about Mark Cuban. These are influencers in the market, and what they say can move markets. One day, Joey, one day I'm going to be an influencer and I'm going to say, go buy Palantir. And everybody's going to go and buy Palantir. But until that happens, people are going to still listen to Mark Cuban and Elon Musk. And I'm just a guy. Nobody's listening to me. Nobody's listening to me. And I'm not telling nobody to go buy Palantir. I'm just joking. OMG. All right, before somebody says, well, Glenn owns, yeah, I do own Palantir. Don't get me wrong. I do own Palantir, but I'm not trying to move the market on it. I'm just using it as an example. Guys, the SPY has moved over 80%, in 2 years. What planet is everyone living on? The spider has moved up, over, or down. And you know why the spiders has gone up so much? We were in a bolstered economy. Right? Since 2016, this market has been on the rise. And you're right. The spider has moved up. All of them have moved up. We were probably in one of the biggest booming economies in a long time. But how did that happen? A lot of it was stimulus. Don't get it twisted. A lot of it was stimulus. Let's ask this question. Do you believe that a lot of the move, because of COVID after 2016, a lot of the move in the market, at least from 2016 to 2020, that was great economy. But since 2020, do you not think that that a lot of the move in the market was caused by stimulus? Type of one. If you think that the market was just rocking and rolling without any stimulus, that it was just moving, type of two. I'm curious to know. A lot. No, Michael. Michael says, but Glenn, you influence us. No, I don't. No, I don't. How many? So I want to know how many. I think the numbers show. I think it's there that the economy was booming a lot because of quantitative easing. All right. Then we need more stimulus. No, how are you going to still, with more stimulus and putting more money into the economy, what happens to prices? They go even higher. Everybody's complaining about it. Prices going higher now, right? Go ahead and put more stimulus in there. We'll never get out of high prices, ever. And inflation will be even high. And right now it's way high. It's way high. Again, how do you get that to come down? We've got to pull back on the amount of money that's in circulation. How do you do that? You make it harder to get. How do you do that? You do raise interest rates. All right. So listen, you know me, I'm just going to put it to you straight. And if there's another way to go after inflation, somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. I'm not a financial guy. I teach you how to use this software, but if there's another way to do it, somebody tell me. All right? No more. The more you pull it one way, the farther it will pull back the other way. Hi, David. Shh, don't bring attention to it, but I'm officially even on. Oh, yeah, I got to talk about that today, Mark. That's the stock I got to talk about today. I got to talk about it, Mark. I just have to. Make the Fed use Dogecoin. Oh, hell no. Listen, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of a couple of things. I'm a fan of the metaverse. I'm a fan of crypto. I say that like crypto. I'm sort of kind of a fan. Look at Twitter move. Look at Twitter move, folks. Look at that. I'm just not ready to go all in on crypto. Not yet. It's still too volatile a space for me to go all in on crypto. Does it have a place in future? Yes, especially when the metaverse starts to kick off. I still believe in the metaverse as well. I believe in clean energy cars as well. I believe in a lot of things. But I don't try to force any of those things down on you guys at all. Increase wages instead of rising interest rates. All right, so Raphael, when you increase wages, what does the company have to do in order to recoup the money that they're paying out in addition in wages? Yeah, you know what they got to do? They got to raise prices, my friend. They gotta raise prices. What does that do? That's all part of inflation. So I hear you, Raphael, and I believe that the raises have to be conducive to overcome the rise in inflation. I absolutely believe that. But when you do that, who doesn't benefit for that? The consumer, the end user, who's already going through rising interest rate. Rising inflation. All right. If you do that, I love the idea. It's a novel idea to pay people more money. But if I do that as a company, how do I offset all that money that just went out of pocket? I'm going to have to raise prices on my goods and services. Do not raise prices, corporate margins. Do you not realize that this is capitalism? We are the epitome of capitalism. And what is the purpose of capitalism? Is to turn around and say, I'm going to get paid for doing what I do. I'm going to charge, and people are either going to buy it or not. That is capitalism 101. That's what we're built on. You know, that's what corporations get their money from buyers. What will increase sales? Listen, corporations get their monies from buyers, but if you're going to increase the prices to the buyers because you increase the wages to your employees, we're just spinning in a circle. We're spinning our wheels in the sand. We used to be the epitome of capitalism, not so much. I disagree with that, Mark. I feel him. Jim, when will VectorVest raise their prices? Who just did that? What just happened? Uh-oh. I think we're having an issue. Joey, you still there? Oh, Joey.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw something pop up saying we had an issue with Teams.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So, VectorVest has been really good over the years about not raising prices for a lot of years. At some point in time, do you think it's going to happen? Honestly, maybe. We'll see. I hope not. All right, Joey's not in timeout. I'm not putting Joey in timeout. All right. So, let me close that. Looking at the big news stories, that's where we stand. You guys, this is great conversation today. I'm loving the conversation today. All right. And hopefully, as I asked, you guys shared this link, this live link on your social circles. Let's get the people here. This is great conversation. How about this? If you think today we're having a great conversation, type 1. If you think I just need to shut up and keep moving and just keep going through this, type of 2. I think the market will be flat for the whole year. Francisco, I think we're going to have a lot of up and down in the market. And I think that going into the end of the year, I think that the recession hits then going into 2023. Glenn, will the VectorVest increase in more members reduced to need to raise? I don't think that that's part of the plan. And again, I'm not privy to those conversations, Ms. McClintock. So I think that we've done well over the years to keep our prices the way they have been. All right. I think that we've done that a great way over the years. All right. Let me see. Was my Facebook people? Ronald says yes, today was a good conversation. I love the conversation that we're having today. I really do. Glenn, can you talk about Tonex? Probably. Depends on if I've got time at the end. And actually, I've talked a lot. I don't know if I'm going to have plans to do it. I'm still a Tonex fan. I'm still a CTRM fan. I'm still a Sensionics fan. These are videos that I've done over time that I still believe in. I still believe in. Somebody said, go Twitter, go. I'm going to bring that back up. I'm put that on another graph. I think Twitter's still moving. TWTR. And it had nothing to do with me. All I did was report on the story. But I would look at that. Twitter is starting to rock and roll. I was going to see if it can take out the session high today, which is sitting at 47.89. All right, let's go back to the viewers. Earnings this week. This is big bank week. Banks are... Oh, heck no. Roger says, when can we expect the VectorVest IPO? Oh, heck no. I don't see that coming. I don't see that coming at all. We are privately held. I love that we're privately held. I don't see that coming at all. All right. Cut CEO executive board pay, reduce outrageous gap. Listen, these companies make a ton of money. Would it be nice if they took lesser money? Absolutely. We can't, there's nothing that we can do about it. The only way we can do anything about it is we just stop buying from those companies that we feel. But that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Still about, and do I think that some of them make an ungodly amount of money? Absolutely. But again, that's what goes on in a capitalistic world, Rick. That's what capitalism is all about. Now, I don't think capitalism should be about gouging. I don't think it should be about people making ungodly amounts of money. Not a lot that I can say about that. Not a lot that I can say about that. But people work their ways up corporate ladders to put themselves in a position where they can make that kind of money. It's what we do. Inflation, direct outcome of excess money in the market. Simple supply-demand equation. Too much cash chasing a limited amount of supply of assets, controlled by restricting money supply through interest rates hike. Ta-da! That's what I've been saying. That's the only way we're going to be able to go after all of that money that's out there. I don't think there really is another other way. And mark my words, I think that one of the interest rates increase will be 100 basis points before the end of the year. Before the end of the year, one of them will be a 100 basis. And I think that that's probably going to be towards the end of the year, and that's probably going to be the straw that broke the camel's back that will put us in a recession. But what else are you going to do? All right. So earnings this week, I found 19 names that I did know. A lot of banks. All right, this is bank week. Let's see. BlackRock, Morgan, Wells, Ally, State Street, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, US Bank, Citigroup. A lot of banks reporting this week. All right, so this is going to be an important week. I still think that banks will be the beneficiary of rising interest rates. But you know something? Let me back up just a little bit. Even with the increases of interest rates, you still know that we're still near zero. I think that even if we go up 2 or 3%, we're still historically low. I think people lose sight of that. I think people still lose sight of that yeah, we are trying to make it harder to get money, but interest rates are still historically low. So I think that even if we raise 3, 4, 5, 6 times this year, we're still going to be sitting in a good situation from an interest rate. That's what I think. What effect will Amazon have having unions, will there be on an increase in membership costs? Well, then the workers have a union to work through to negotiate on their part what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. That's what a union is for. That's what it's supposed to be for, right? So they will most likely bargain for more money, and then Amazon is going to be having to bargain. If they have to give more money, they're going to have to raise prices. I think that there will be an increase in membership costs. There's so we'll see. Drew says the banks with lots of cash will benefit. And you know what else will happen in regards to the banks with rising interest rates? Smaller banks are going to get bought. That's another thing that I told you to look out for this year, this quarter going into next quarter. M&As are going to rise, and buybacks are going to rise. All right, at least for the next 2 quarters, watch those 2 things. Buybacks are going to rise because now with raising interest rates, it's going to make it harder for you to buy. It's going to affect the bottom line. They're going to do buybacks between this quarter and next quarter. And a lot of companies are going to be bought out that are going to be smaller companies. That's going to happen. And Maria says that was an awesome win for Amazon employees. Great success story. But again, Amazon is going to have to pay or raise prices on their services. There's not going to be no way to get around that. All right, so let's go sort these by relative safety. Which companies are going to have the higher probability of meeting or exceeding expectations? United Healthcare, BlackRock, Taiwan Semi. I want you all to help me to congratulate my son who just got a job with Taiwan Semi. He's going to be starting next month. He got the job. He got the job as an engineer with Taiwan Semi. Actually, it's with ASML, which is partnered up with Taiwan Semi. So proud of him. Coming out of the Marine Corps, he's been with us for a minute since last November. He's been down in the dumps. He hadn't been able to really, really, truly get a job. Now he's going to be working for a hell of a company. He really, really is. So proud of him. Yes, I put that out there. I want the congratulations. That's my kid. And he's my step kid, but he's my kid no matter what. So he's going to be working for a great company. All right. So proud of him for that. Let's go see. Chris on Facebook says pricing in a capitalistic society is primarily driven by supply and demand. Only way for the Fed to control inflation is to raise the supply by lowering demand. Interest rates are the most powerful tool to do that. Thank you, Chris. I didn't want you to think that I did not see that. Thank you for chiming in on Facebook. I appreciate it. Can he make the TSM price stock move? No, Satashan, he can't. All right, no. We should buy stock in TSM because it now has to go up bigly. No, I don't even own TSM. I'm happy that my son's got the job. I'm not, you know me, I gotta look at some things before I'm ready to buy a stock, not just because my son's working there. All right. So the stocks that have the higher potential to meet or exceed earnings at the top of the list, the ones at the bottom, Pixie, Sundial. Oh, I'm still not ready for weed stocks yet either. Rite Aid, this is a meme stock. Bed Bath & Beyond. Interesting that Wells Fargo is towards the bottom of the list as well. We'll see what happens. But, relative safety shows me the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. All right, so let's take that off. Those are my earnings this week. Let's go see what sectors are moving. Let's go to Unisearch. Let's go to Delta Search's sectors. Let's go 10-day RT Delta. Let's go see if there's anything moving up. With the market moving down, is there anything in the positive? Yeah, there's only a couple. Let's run this again. There's only a couple of sectors by relative timing that are up. Instruments is up 3.75%. Utility is up 3.36%. If I look at anything in utility, it's got to be a stock that pays a dividend. The market's moving up. Let's go look at instruments. Let's right-click, view the stocks in that sector. And you know me, I love giving you the data, but I got a lot of people on here that are not subscribers to the VectorVest software, so I'm not going to give you the whole boat. There's 27 stocks in that instrument sector. Let's go see which ones are moving up the most today. All right, since it's moved up over 3% in the last 2 weeks, what's moving up? Let's take a look at the top four. All right, so this is in a sector that's rising over the last 2 weeks. Let's go take a look at these stocks. Are any of these something that you might be interested in today? So keeping in mind, the sectors are moving. Ooh, there's only one stock in here I like. A lot of these don't have enough volume for me to be even interested in. CYBE. I do like the move intraday from the bottom left to the top right. Let's go see if there's news on CYBE. Bring that up. Any news? Joey needs this, doesn't he? I'll bring that back to you, Joey. I just realized that happened. Or actually, here, let me move that back over to you, and let me just take this. There you go. Sorry about that, Joey. All right. Now you can do whatever you need to do over there. I apologize for that. Let's bring this up. What's the news on here? 13 days ago, nothing. Let's go look at press release. What's making it move today? 4 days ago, first quarter 2022 earnings call scheduled for April 28th. All right, so they've got a call coming up. Let's go look at, in this second, let's go look at relative safety. Ooh, well, they should be okay as far as earnings coming up. Let's go put this on a 1 month graph. Big move. Look at that bounce. I like a bounce coming off support. Nice open candle today. The 3 and 8 haven't crossed yet. I'd like to see the 3-8 cross before I jump on board. But I am comfortable that the stock should beat or meet earnings. What the other side of it is, and it's got good upside potential. The other side of it is, it's what the forward guidance will be. That I have no clue on what the forward guidance is going to be. Thank you for that. Miss McClintock says, folks, VectorVest works and improves your trades. That is a young lady who it is part of the software. Alex on Facebook says, I'm on the mobile app. There's a lot that can be gained on the mobile app as well. And Patrick does a live stream on that every Thursday at 11 a.m. If you want to learn more about how to effectively use the mobile app, you need to be in on that. All right, you need to be in on that. Let's go click on this one. That's Joey's 1-2. That's Joey's 1-2. And that's Joey's 1-2. All right, so how many likes do we have so far today? 97. We're almost at 100. There you go, folks. You know me, I'd like to get us to 100 likes before the day is up. All right, let's close out of those. All right, those were the fastest moving sectors. The only sector that I really saw that was worth it for me to look at was instruments. Out of 41 sectors, it is number 28. Let's go down. Industry ETFs across the board. Where's money going today? Jimmy says, I can honestly say that VectorVest is a great tool. I'm loving that the guys and gals here on VectorVest, listen, you know, I'm going to tell you that it works, but to listen to the people who are subscribers, the Bahamas portfolio, I'll check that out. You're listening to the people who are actually subscribers to the software, talking to you guys who are not subscribers. And you know something in regards to that, that's not the one I want. It's not the one I want. In regards to that, for anybody who's interested in taking a trial for 30 days for 99 cents, go to www.vectorvest.com/YT. 30 days for 99 cents. 30 days for 99 cents. All right, let's get back into here. That's the only selling I'll ever do for you. Let's go see where the money's going today. Looks like straight up the money is going into natural gas. That's it. Everything else, because of the down day that we're having today, what's getting hurt? Oil. Look at that. Oil's at the bottom getting hurt today. Energy is getting hurt today. Copper, the Qs, gold miners, healthcare, real estate. I try to put an ETF to look at what's going on around the whole spectrum of stocks. Where's money going? Looks like it's going into natural gas. I got a video out there recently. Joey, you still here? I know I messed up everything on your side. You still here? I see your mouse moving. Can you put the natural gas video in the chat, please? I do have one, don't I? I think I do. If he can find, I believe I do. I'm looking to, that's electric. You'll look, you'll see. I think there is a natural gas video out there. And if I have, go check it out. I still think, yep, there he is. Natural gas stocks to buy. Joey's putting that into the chat. I love to see all of these stories that come out and look at the software and see what's going on. A lot of times we are ahead of the curve in regards to the videos that are out there. If you are not a subscriber to the VectorVest YouTube channel, please hit that. We put a lot of pertinent information about what's going on around the time that we put out the videos. I got a video going out tomorrow called News You Need to Know. And it's about a few different stocks that you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stocks. I got 5 stocks that I'm going to talk about, and it's news that you need to know because these stocks are making news, but the news that you need to know to make the right decisions. You need to check out our YouTube channel for more than just the live streams, folks. You really, really do. How many of you are not subscribers to our YouTube channel? Type a 1 in the room. That goes for both Facebook and YouTube. Alex says, in regards to the software on Facebook, $21 a month, super affordable. Love that. I love that. How many of you have not looked at the videos that we have on our YouTube channel? Type a 1 in the room. All right. And for everyone that's going to type a 1, folks, I strongly invite you I strongly invite you to look at all of the content between me and Patrick and Susan and Stan and Dr. David. We got a lot of videos out there that are pertinent to what's going on in the market. So everyone who's typing a 1 who has not subscribed to the channel, I invite you to do that, folks. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so that you'll know what's going on. Did I put me here? I'm not finished yet, but I can be. I ain't finished yet. I know I'm going into a little bit of overtime today. Did I put us here or did you put me here, Joey? Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to go put me back in. I'm going to finish up real quick. Speculative plays. Let's talk about those. These are my new speculative plays. Write them down. And again, in regards to this, the boil is moving because natural gas is moving, tell it, Ted, because natural gas is moving. All right, I got about 10 stocks I want you to keep your eyes on. Some of them, there it is, CTRM. There it is, up nicely today. I'm back in it. I got into it today. Mark didn't want me to talk about it. He didn't want to jinx it. Let me just take just that this time. CTRM, 21% today. That's last month. What's moving it today? Announced the availability of its 2021 annual report, Form 20F. Dave, you know something, for a company that I've talked a lot about, customer, this was 2 months ago, 29 million net income for 3 months ended December. The company in $52 million net, the company makes money. The company makes money. And when I look at this stock, they keep growing their fleet. When I look at the stock, look at the relative value. This is why I like the company. Look at the earnings per share. It's 26 cents, and they grow it by 35% a year. The safety is not there, so this becomes now more of an aggressive stock. This is a stock that I've done a lot of videos on. I've done a lot of videos on this stock. It's just been a tough stock to hold on to. It's just been a tough stock to hold on to. But it's up 21%. I jumped on it today, Mark. All right. You're being played off the stage. I know. Joey was like, all right, this boy's done. I'm finna. Yeah, I know. That's all right. I still love him, though. I still love him. But let's go look at the top 4 movers on my speculative plays. And again, you know me, I like to bring stocks to your attention for you to keep your eyes on. They may not all be what I want you to buy right now, but I want you to keep your eyes on. I'm going to put these on 1 month graphs. Big 3-8 crossover today. This is news driven. The volume is up. A little bit of give back. Be careful with this. Before you go to buy into this, I'd like to see it go 5 cents higher than the high. But I do like the 3-8 crossover. What else? 3-8 crossover in CTRM. And look at that, Mark. I talk about it and people are taking their profits off the table. But I do like the 3-8 cross on it as well on big volume. What's the next one? The next one is, do you need it, Joey?
No, you need to clear the chat.
Oh, there we go. The next one is Redo Rise Education. Look at that, sitting at right now, and this is it's more of a penny stock, sitting at that value of 96 cents at the level of resistance. This is on a 1 month graph. I do like that it's approaching. I'd like to see it break above. You notice that a lot of the stocks that I'm putting into this list today are Chico Foss. A lot of stocks I'm putting into this list today are just recently showing a 3-8 cross. And why? Because normally when a 3-8 crosses, it gives you a good opportunity to make money. When it crosses to the downside, end of day, get out. But I like the 3-8 cross. I'd like it even more if it can break above that level by 5 cents. I'd be looking to buy this Chico Foss at about 5.10, 10 cents higher than the high, 10 cents higher than this level of resistance. All right, so those are my speculative plays. I didn't have one last week, so I'm going to take these now. Tell you what I'm going to do so we can watch them on Wednesday. I'm going to take, or next Monday. We're going to do it next Monday. Right click, add to watch list. Those are now my new, these are the ones I'm going to pay attention to next Monday. Let's go see what they did. And this one I can empty. I can empty this out now. But next week, we can run and see how the what? Did it not go in there? Oh, it did. We can check next week and see how we did on the Speculatives plays. Joey, can you get Glenn an omnidirectional mic? It would cover him better. That's just, listen, I'm just moving around today. I'm hype. I hadn't had a lot of coffee either. I don't know why I'm so hype. I just need to sit still. All right. Today's big moving stocks. One of these are big because it got bought out. Wow, what's up 100 and look at that. Hoo-wee, 192%. Why? Man, I looked at that earlier. It was nowhere up near that high. It was up nowhere near that high. 19 minutes. Dr. Fauci warns, don't poo-poo COVID because of low hospitalization. What the flying flip is that? I don't care about that. Veru's stock rockets after oral COVID-19 treatment leads to statistically meaningful reduction in deaths. Oh, look at that stock move. All right. Tell you what I'm finna do. We're finna look at that. I'm going to see if it's worth it. You know, I don't like to chase stocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. But view the stock graph. Let's bring that up. That's a big look at that move. Oral medication. Tell you what I'm going to tell you to do. I think that's big news for the stock. The stock has not pulled back from that big jump up this morning. It hasn't come anywhere near the fading the gap. For this, if it keeps on going, I would tell you to consider buying this stock at $14.62. That's 5 cents higher than the high. I think that this is great news. What is this? Veru, V-E-R-U, 1462. I'm very interested in buying that stock. I think that could be great news. That could be great news for this stock. How many of you knew about this stock? Type a 1 in the room. If you did not know about this stock, type a 2 in the room. I want both on Facebook and on YouTube. How many of you have heard of this stock? Type a 1. If you have not heard of this stock, type a 2. Boom. This is why I love to bring stocks like this. This is new stuff. Now, Aggie says, heard of it. Excellent. But the majority of you in the room are typing 2s that you did not know. Jim knew about it, but the majority of you, this morning, did Patrick talk about it in the Jockey Club this morning? Holy smokes. I would really consider putting it in order at that. I think that's great news from a COVID perspective. All right, you need VectorVest. So we were looking at this morning. We were looking at this morning in the Jockey Club, Patrick was 192%. Today. What else is in here? VNet, not as big a move, but I'd like to see it go up 5 cents higher above the high. And I'm not telling you, they got bought. They got bought by a private company. That's what happened with them. You ain't getting nothing out of that. And something tells me that this got bought as well. But I'm liking that whole Veru thing. You hear that, Joey? Your Uncle Glenn is hooking you up with a stock. I gave you a price to look at, $14.62. $14.62 is something to consider. You hear that, Joey?
Yeah.
You going to buy it?
No.
All right, Wall Street bet stocks. Here's the top 12. AMC is the top stock talked about right now. What's moving up the most? Beachbody is up 5%. Hawaiian Holdings up 2%. Twitter talked about on Wall Street bets today, up almost 2%, and steel up a little bit. Special watch list. Remember I talked to you about IBD was talking about stocks to take a look at in this space. I'm going to give you 5. Look at this. This is in the cybersecurity stocks. We did the video on March 4th. Joey put the link in the chat for you. And here's 5 of them to look at. These are sorted by VST. Let's sort by the ones that have the best upside potential. And right now, I've got 50 stocks in here. I'm not showing them all to all of you. But the stocks that have the best upside potential are sitting right here in the cybersecurity space. I'm still telling you that this is a space that you got to keep your eyes on. You got to keep your eyes on it. All right, one last thing before we leave. Let's go to the Bahamas trip. All right, before I get into it, what do you think these portfolios are? Well, they're both down. You should know that. Why? Because the market's moving down. This one was using the primary wave. All right, using the primary wave. We're in a primary wave down. All right, wait, so this one is currently in cash. This one utilizes a full-blown automated trading system. It's still all long. Now it's neutral. All right, so this one uses the GLBRT kicker. Right now it's neutral. It's not up or down. By way of that, on a neutral, we just sit there and let these stocks just go. It's down 5%, but that's all right. We'll let it be. Once it gets to a down situation, these will all go away and then it'll short. On the Bahamas trip one, using the primary wave, it goes to cash on the down. All right, so there we go. Now, Joey, you can put me on the get out of the way screen. There we go. He was waiting for that. Don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. This was a lot. You just unpacked your bags, Lee? No, don't unpack them. It's not time yet. We still got a little bit of time before the summer gets here. Don't unpack your bags. It's not ready to go. It's not ready to go away. All right. How many likes did we get today, Joey? Real quick. We got up to 125. Way to go, folks. Way to go. Thank you for that. Today was great conversation. And I love getting the input from you guys because it matters. Mark says, we bought and sold very early in the Jockey Club this morning. Okay, Veru. That stock was up 192%. Big move on the stock today. At least I gave you a buy-in price for it from an intraday perspective. Thank you guys for being here today. It was my pleasure. Wednesday, we have another session, but now those sessions will be with me and Patrick. And we'll see you 12 o'clock there. I think it's time for me to go. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Till next time, folks. See ya.